Hey everybody, welcome to an indulgent wild ride with Stevo. We're really indulging ourselves over here, man. We're talking about busting nuts and eating chicken being the most sublime experience of all time. And then there's old Scott Randolph. I mean, dude, what isn't he doing to indulge himself? I mean, I'm telling you, this guy's hilarious. Stavros, man, I really hit it off with him, and he's my new bro. So get ready for a hilarious, indulgent wild ride. Let's get to it. Ladies and gentlemen, Stavros Halkias.
Hell yeah. Thanks for having me, dog.
Yeah, dude, I said that right?
You nailed it. You nailed
Nice.
it great. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man, thanks for doing it, dude.
Dude.
I've seen you everywhere. You're on fire.
Thank you. I'm trying to be. Shout out to the algorithm. I don't know what happened, but it lifted me. It lifted me into the, I caught in that motherfucker, and I just got to get famous off posting TikToks somehow.
Oh,
So,
wow, so
yeah,
that was it,
yeah,
huh?
yeah. I mean, I had some shit going before. I was had a big podcast before.
Come down.
I was on Come Town. That really helped a lot. But then something just happened where I was like, I was putting out my special, and I was like, let me just see what happens if I put out some dumb little clips, and here we are.
Wow.
I feel like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like that's been happening a lot with comedians. They just blowing up over TikTok.
Yeah,
Like comedians that have been working for years,
Totally,
like over
totally.
10 years,
Absolutely.
and then all of a sudden they get this crazy viral clip.
Yeah.
and then now they're selling out shows.
Is that like a Matt Rife thing? Is that how he kind of started
yeah,
blowing
yeah.
up?
I think it's the same thing. It's literally the same thing, except I like people talk about how it's easy to be fat and like look funny in comedy, but like if you just are ripped and have DSLs, you're gonna do better. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
Matt
yeah.
Rife's just a piece of ass.
Yeah.
Like
A hot
the algorithm
piece of
still understands like fuckable people more than anything. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because all it is like quick looking. Like that's why someone with big ass titties is gonna go further. You know what I mean? Like someone with, as long as you just kind of, because I know that's what my algorithm is all. It's either like delicious meals or big ass someone with big tits, or like it started with fitness, like 'cause I was like trying to work out, and then slow, like one hot girl would sneak in, but she was
Yeah.
still doing like showing you how to do an exercise, and then slowly there was less about the exercise. You could see more of her pussy through her shorts. That's a big thing with fitness, with like fitness like
TikTok
content.
accountants.
It's like yeah, but it's like ostensibly for fitness, but it's like you are just, I don't know who designs the shorts that it feels like they have specific like pussy material to make it even more visible than any other short. I've spent a lot of time on that part of TikTok. For sure.
Pussy talk.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the special itself.
The special definitely helped, right? Like that was the whole idea. Was like I was trying to get I was just trying to post shit so that people would see the special, because my YouTube channel didn't have shit really going on. I had like 20,000 followers, but then the clips got it to like, I don't know, 300, 400,000. And then the special itself then got it like up another, But yeah, the special did really well. I was just trying to, so it was kind of like a 1-2 punch where it's like,
Yeah.
you have the clips and then you're like, hey, I also can do not crowd work. Here's like an hour of jokes.
Right.
And then plus, if you're on the road and just doing a good show, people will come back and see you more and more. So
For
yeah.
sure, man. So I was struck watching your Live at the Lodge special.
Mhm.
Your candor about taking drugs.
yeah, definitely.
I mean, like, it's pretty wild. Like, I think most people, if they do partake in cocaine,
Mhm.
they're not going to say that very loudly at a public level.
Sure, yeah. Well, that's the whole point of stand-up, is that like, it's a bullshit art form, and it's like you're just supposed to have a good time. The two things that I think are very important with stand-up is like have a good ass time, let people like laugh. That's it, right? Just entertain people. But also, if there's one thing we can kind of that has artistic merit, I think is just being completely open and honest. And I think that's the best stand-up. You can be a really good stand-up and just write jokes that don't really tell people about you. But I think what I'm interested in, and when I think we kind of get to artistic merit, is when like, yeah, dude, you're just an open book, and that's what's interesting about it. It's just a person legitimately, and that's why I like talking to the audience, and I'll be very, open with them. And it's not just drugs. It's, talk about my family. I talk about you know, all my sexual embarrassments,
Nice.
of which there are many, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, I mean, I was definitely in the zone. I mean, I don't do cocaine anymore because my rule is after 30, it's either be fat or do cocaine. I don't
Nice.
think you could do both. You know what I mean? That's a little tough on the ticker. Really, you're really risking it over there. But yeah, I'll still do a mushroom every once in a while. I'll still do a little acid. Obviously, some weed. I watched, got high. Watched Lone Wolf McQuade 2 days ago. Really great picture. I suggest you check it out. But yeah, man, I love. That's the whole point. It's just like being honest and letting people in on your shit.
Was it difficult to stop doing cocaine?
Not really. I'm much more of a downers guy.
Okay.
I like I am happy I didn't grow up in like the age of opium dens because that would have been my shit. You know what I mean? Just like laying on a little mattress. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Smoking
In a
opium.
whorehouse.
Yeah, exactly. Getting sucked off by like a big titted someone who had been like a prostitute that came over on like a ship. You know what I mean? Like that would have been my life in the 1800s.
Yeah, like
no question.
the Knickerbocker. Clive Owen frequented those places.
Yeah, hell yeah. They got opium dens?
They did.
Yeah.
In like the 1902.
Oh yeah, dude. That's yeah. Thank God there's no time machines either, because the cleanliness might be a problem if I went back in time, but if I was of the era, I'd be in there. Yeah, I like the little pills, that kind of stuff. But it never got that out of control because my biggest addiction, for sure, is food. It's not even close. So it's like, and that's why my favorite drug, the one I have the most problems with, is actually weed. Where it's like it's the most gentle one, but it's like that's the one that fucks my life up the most because I just it starts with like, let me just smoke a little to go to bed, and then it's like then you're like, oh, I have 38 minutes before this incredibly important meeting. I could take a 40 milligram edible. You know what I mean? Like it becomes that. I'll sleep it off in a half hour and be ready to go, but it also enhances being fat as shit too, because you get to.
Right.
There's nothing like just getting high and ordering, $40 of Chinese food, and you got your favorite Ben and Jerry's just locked and loaded in the in the freezer. You know what I mean?
I have had times when I felt hard done by that I can't smoke weed anymore.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like to go to concerts and stuff. Like whenever I smell weed, it's kind of upsetting to me.
Yeah.
Because I love the way it smells.
Yeah.
And if I'm honest, like I would love to be able to smoke weed.
Yeah.
The problem is that my weed bone is connected to my booze bone. My booze bone is connected to my coke bone. My coke bone's connected to my pill bone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and next thing you know, it's all PCP and. So I'm very clear that I can't, and sometimes that hurts my feelings.
Oh, I get that, dude.
So Baltimore.
Yeah, dude.
That's a tough town.
Yeah, I mean it was, but it's like you don't know any better when you grow up there. And also, like, I grew up in Greektown, which was, we had like one murder a year. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and
wow.
it was like big. It was big news, but it wasn't like you never really felt like you were in danger. You know what I mean? It's like, and I was very lucky. I never got robbed or anything like that. I had a lot of friends who were like, because like in every like city where in every like city that's not doing well economically, I feel like the arts center is also right by a horrific neighborhood. So I had a lot of like artsy, like fucking, scrawny friends who were just like I had one of my friends, like this little ass dude who's he's very creative, he's awesome, but like he would get robbed just constantly. Like he would just factor it into his like budgeting that like I'm going to get robbed. You know what I mean? But I think
what does getting robbed look like in Baltimore?
Just somebody stopping you, maybe having a gun, maybe pretending to have a gun, and just being like, just running your pockets, or just not, knocking you out. A lot of my friends would get like sucker punched and shit like that. But if you just like looked harder to rob, I think being fat, I was just like, if you had to pick a guy if you had to pick fat and still like ambulatory, like not like shuffling sideways, but like if you were fat and could move in a straight line, pretty nice. If you hadn't hit the the threshold of like way too fat and easy to like topple over, I think yours like I'd rather rob a smaller man.
So you are an intimidating fat.
I think I just
Just crossed the line.
Just enough where if you didn't know me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like, why don't we? Let's not. It's like it's just safer to rob someone who's not as fat. You know what I mean? Like just doughy. Just you never know with a fat guy. Might be a power lifter. I was not, but you know what I mean. There are some sneaky, powerful fat men out there.
There's a lot of pent up rage with fat people.
That's another thing. You could tap into that.
Yeah,
in my 20s, I could tap into
redhead.
not getting pussy, like just incel fat rage.
And there's nothing anybody can do to stop you.
No. If it gets released, usually you turn it inside and you eat, crumpets to make it go away. You know what I mean?
I only fairly recently learned the definition of incel.
Yeah.
Is that crazy? Like, is there not more than one definition of incel?
I think it's
like a military term.
No. What it means is somebody who is involuntarily celibate.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what incel means?
Incel,
you didn't know incel?
No, I thought it was like a military term.
You didn't know
It's like we
incel?
got
Yeah.
like 3 incels over here in the building.
Let that sink in.
What the fuck is going on, you guys? You guys have a huge internet presence. You know incels? I guarantee you a lot of incels subscribe to the channel, I'll tell you that much.
I mean, I know how to spell it. It's probably INCEL, right?
Yeah,
There you go.
it means
That doesn't count. That's not anything.
it's like it's a sophisticated word for a guy who wants pussy, but he can't get it. Well, let me tell you about something anybody can get. Steve-O's hot sauce for your butthole. Steve-O's Butthole Destroyer hot sauce. Anybody can get these great stocking stuffers on Amazon. And there's my bobblehead, which anybody can get at steve-o.com. But the important question is, how do I ship these awesome things to the people who order them? I use ShipStation. Why? Because it brings everything you need to run an e-commerce business into one place. All of the different shipping services, FedEx, UPS, United States Postal Service, and it gets you the best rates that are normally reserved for Fortune 500 companies. And man, I'm telling you, we just have our warehouse. When the order comes in, print the label, slap it on the box, stick the goods in there. It's out the door. It's so easy. And the holidays are coming up, and I wish you were excited as I am because we're going to do a great deal of business, and you should too. Plus, if you want to get an absolutely risk-free 2 months free trial, then go to ShipStation.com and use the promo code STEVO. That's 60 days, 2 months, and you get to try this service, see how easy it is, how good the rates are, and how much you can blow up your business. So one more time, for that easy, free, risk-free 60-day trial, go to ShipStation.com and use the promo code STEVO. Listen, people, the holidays are upon us, and it's time to make ship happen. Now let's get back to it.
Can't get pussy.
But he can't get it involuntarily.
He wants to be crushing beef.
Yes.
Oh, so I was an incel for a very long time.
Without question.
Yeah,
Without question.
involuntary celibate.
Yeah.
But I read that you're married. That's not true.
I'm not married. Where'd you read that?
I think on Wikipedia.
That's not on my Wikipedia.
I think it said that you were married. One it said you were married to a dude, and then another article I read said that you were married to a girl.
Okay, well, no.
And I even said that to you. I was like, oh, I didn't know he was gay.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Damn, we got a crack research department on the Wild Ride Pod. Yeah, I saw it somewhere. You were gay or married or something. What was that like? Oh, on chemifalaninews.ng.
Yeah, what is that? It is shared that the spouse's name of Stavros is Adam Friedland.
That's my boy Adam. We used to do Come Town together. So it's a joke of, it'd be like saying Steve-O's married to Wee Man and somebody believing that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But that's all right.
Guilty.
That's okay.
The disbanding of the Come Town podcast. It is that shrouded in scandal and controversy?
It's not. I mean, I think it's a little bit. People are curious, but I think like kind of what it was just time to move on for me personally. Where it was like I was pretty burned out, and I thought not doing the pod was what I wanted to kind of like chill out. And then because of like I planned to just kind of like take it really easy after stopping the podcast. And then all that, like I said, all that random, the internet shit kind of blew up without me expecting to. So I left the pod thinking I'd be like way less busy and just kind of be able to focus on myself. And like, because we joke about, obviously you understand somebody having their demons. Like I really felt like kind of the stress of being on the road constantly and like trying, I hadn't had the special yet. And I was like, I really wanted to break through as a stand-up and not as a podcast guy. That always kind of bothered me a little bit. So I just wanted to kind of focus on stand-up and then maybe get healthier and do that shit. And so I figured, let's stop. And then let me stop and chill out. And then shit blew up and I was like, fuck, I'm making a lot of money on the road now. I can't stop. So now it's like, not only did the podcast ended, and then I just was like, well, I'm getting all these new fans. I should have a podcast. So I started another podcast like 6 months later just because it was like the right business decision. But I think it ended up for the best. Where and like, other than me getting fatter and fatter the last few years and getting more and more fucked up, everything else has been going great. Everything else like ended up for the best. And I think the show was probably going to end that year anyway. So it was just I kind of left a little earlier just for my own shit, and then.
You just said, "Look, Kooks, I'm done with you."
Yeah, I just can't do this shit. I need a little time to myself, and then I took like 2 weeks to myself, and then I was like, "Fuck, this shit's kind of blowing up."
That when you said that you were working on getting healthier,
yeah,
I found myself like kind of starting to giggle because I pictured you watching TikToks to get healthy.
yeah,
and it just turned into you jacking off.
My dick getting hard. I can't tell you how often that has happened. Where it's like I'll be looking through like my saved recipes where it's like healthy, like egg white shit, and then I just flip to the next one and it's like someone teaching you deadlift form, and then within 4, it's just a fat titted Russian lady just bench pressing, and the bench is like it was mushing her tits, and I'm like, I'm gonna search yoga pants in X videos and see what I get after that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's fantastic, man.
yeah.
Do you have any like things on the road that you do to like meal prep or?
I mean, I try. I mean, when it starts, like when the tours would start, I definitely was like, I would like order meals, and one time I flew. My brother has a gym. Shout out to Nick, Odyssey Strength and Conditioning, folks. If you're out in Maryland, and so he would train me. He came out to Houston when I was there, but then it just gets so fucking hectic. I don't know how you guys feel about the road, but it's like. I can start okay, and then it's just like and I was on, I've been on the road basically with a couple breaks here and there since the pandemic ended, like as soon as you could get on the road. And it's this weird thing where it's like, I grew up poor as shit, and so it's like, and I was making some money off Cumtown. I was making good money on Cumtown, and then I was doing well ticket sell wise, right? Like I was doing well, comedy clubs, selling out 1 or 2 shows. But then once this fucking internet shit popped, it was like I was making the kind of money on the road where I was like, this probably, and I don't know if you feel this way, but like I'm pessimistic where I'm like, this is not gonna last.
Right.
So it's this thing of like someone's gonna realize no one should be paying theater prices for stand-up comedy. Somebody's gonna there's gonna be a mass. People are gonna figure this out. We're gonna be exposed as the frauds we are and sent back to comedy clubs to make like half the money. And so I just like kept saying yes to more and more stuff to the point where, now I've saved up a good amount of money. But it would be like every tour would start like, oh, I'm not going to go too crazy. And then I would just add more and more stuff. And then and then I'm like, the first weekend you're like eating salads and shit. And then like, 4 months in, it's just like, I can't sleep, so I'm taking edibles. I've gotten fat as hell, so I'm taking dick pills just to make my dick even sort of work. You know what I'm like? And you're just like I'm just in such disarray where I'm just like, overheating all the time. I'm in like, I'm taking like cold baths to get going.
So when you're taking the dick pills to make the dick sort of work.
Yes. But I'd love to get into this for sure. I have a lot of thoughts on dick pills, so let's get in there.
I mean, of course, we're talking about Blue Chews.
Are they a sponsor of the program?
And I happen to love them.
Okay. Well, look, I have some beef with the general dick pill market because I'm out there as a free agent. And you know what I mean? I don't have no ads on Stavros World when it comes to dick pills. And I'm just saying everyone's fucking up because I am on the record years a proud user of the product with I mean it's in my I've talked about it in specials. So, you know, I can't say Steve-O exactly which I'm talking about until they cut a check.
How about
I can't
that,
say what dick pills are making my dick get to 65% hard so I can mash it into some woman who probably had a fat charismatic father, and that's the reason she's agreed to suck me off in my hotel room and then leave immediately afterwards. You know what I mean? That's
right.
You know, I can't specify the brand, but if you want to say it's Blue Chew, that's fine with me. I won't fuck your money up.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow, that thought process. I mean, is that what you're thinking about when the chick's sucking your dick? It's like, I probably look like her father. I mean,
No,
so
in the moment I'm thinking,
65%.
yeah. No. In the moment I'm thinking, nice. You know? This is fucking awesome. In the moment,
Yeah.
and then I bust, and that's when those thoughts come in.
Yeah.
You know,
And then you eat fucking M&Ms or something in the corner.
Oh,
of the room.
dude, it's really fucked up. Like, truly, nothing makes me happier than just getting a nice little nut off and then hanging out with someone with fat titties and eating like chicken tenders and a Haagen-Dazs afterwards. You know what I mean? Like that's what's fucked up is that it's like I don't know if you feel this way about your addictions, but it's like, yeah, I'm addicted to this because it's fucking awesome. It fucking rules. Like this is it. I know I know tomorrow I will feel horrendous, but right now I will never feel better. Like I promise you, my brain lights up in a way that like when somebody holds their newborn for the first time, I'm having a better time than they are holding their newborn when I'm just freshly sucked off with like a fried chicken thigh in my mouth. You know what I mean? Like I am having a better experience than someone who, and not even just someone who accidentally had a kid. Someone who tried for 10 years and they had a miracle child, and you know the doctor said in vitro won't work, and then somehow on the anniversary of their dead mother's birthday they conceive, and then finally the baby comes out and it's beautiful and it has no health problems whatsoever. I'm having a better time than that guy, like in the Courtyard Marriott. Or watching diners, drive-ins, and dives with cum on my belly. Like that, I promise you, you know?
That's fantastic.
But do you wake up the next morning full of shame, or do you wake up like,
No.
oh, damn, that chicken tender and
jerk
that
off
blowjob
again.
was
Dude.
great?
I don't feel shame. I just feel like,
Awesome.
hungover and fucked up.
Yeah.
But the other fucked up feeling is like, I kind of like that feeling. There's something to that. Like, it's like, I understand that I'm paying the piper for yesterday, and it's like, I don't have shit to do. I'll lay in my fucking bed for 4 hours. You know what I mean? Like, my favorite thing that happens on the road, like, and I'm getting away from it because it is bad for me. I get that. Like, it's getting a little too unhealthy. At a certain point, you just got to quit it. But, like, that rhythm of, like, get fucked up, have a great time at, like, until 4 a.m., and then feel like such shit that you just have to kind of lay in your bed, take a, cold shower, at that point I'm having like, I'm like, oh fuck, a show is coming. So you're kind of in survival mode. And that's the only time I can kind of take care of myself when it's like life or death. So I'm like, I'm actually eating kind of healthy that day. I'm working out to kind of get the juices flowing. I'm taking a nap. I'm like doing everything you need to get I'm drinking green juices and shit. And then I have like a coffee right before the show. And then you finally feel good. Like you feel like shit all day. And then you feel good at like 7 p.m. Show's at 8. Then you do the show. You know how the high after a show. So now I'm finally well rested. And then it's like, what, I'm going to go to bed after that? And then it's this fucked up cycle where it's like, well, I'm getting fucked up now. Like I feel great. I feel awesome. I've done all this healthy shit today to survive. But now you add the like momentum of the show and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go just have a good ass time. I'm not going back to I'm not gonna do like yoga and go to bed. I'm gonna have a good time.
What does partying after a show look like?
At this point, it really just. At this point, I mean, it used to just look like, going out for, hanging around. Like very early on in my career, it's like when I'm not doing well, like overall, where it's like, you're just kind of in that moment. You're like in that room, you're famous, and nowhere else are you famous. So it used to look like, hey, want to get drinks at the bar in the comedy club where I still have like my halo around me? Because the second you walk out as like a young comic, the second you leave the premises, you're just some fucking guy. You know what I mean? You're just some guy with 5 roommates after that point.
Everybody wants to feel important, and I feel like an absolute king when I sit on my throne and take a huge sloppy dump with my Hello Tushy bidet. This is officially my favorite sponsor of the Wild Ride podcast. I've said that the entire time. I love it so much. It's like pressure cleaning your butthole after you take a dump. And if it's a dump that follows Steve-O's Butthole Destroyer, then it couldn't be more important to have Hello Tushy. It's so soothing and it's so complete in the way that you clean your butthole. It's time to stop wiping people and start washing your butthole. And it's time to get 10% off your first order by going to hellotushy.com/Stevo. Again, for 10% off your first order. This is my favorite sponsor of the Wild Ride podcast, and it is the only way to take a dump. Absolute refreshment and total cleanliness with hellotushy.com/Stevo. So jump on it and let's get back to it.
So I would just like hang out and like get fucked up, and hopefully some woman who was at the show, would come back to the hotel that was probably around the corner from the shitty comedy club I was at. And now it's kind of gone fully the other way, where it's like I travel with my friends so that, I have my best friend Eldis is my road manager. He's my podcast producer too. And I bring, a friend on the road. I bring JP McDade. Great.
You travel
comic.
on a bus now?
Not yet. We're not in the bus zone yet, but we'll do like, I'm in the SUV. You know what I mean?
There
Like
you
I'm in the
go.
Sprinter van. But it's like now it just looks like let me get high with my boys and like, not eat anything too bad. Or it's like just, DM somebody and like, or meet a girl at the show and be like, do you just want to hang out? But I don't even like to go out anymore. It's just like, let's literally watch diners, drive-ins, and dives and, eat something.
What's that?
Huh?
I've never seen that show.
You don't know what it is? You
Yeah,
know what diners, drive-ins, and dives is?
What channel
kind
is it
of
on?
media-
People still watch TV?
Dude, come on. Guy
like-
Fieri. Triple D, brother.
Do you know what that is?
I do not, but
Wow.
I get the sense that it's...
I've been watching Suits on Netflix.
it
You're a
makes,
Suits guy?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
You guys aren't part of the Guy... You don't know about the Guy Fieri extended universe? I'm
No.
a big guy. I'm a big guy.
Do you?
I love his
No.
stuff.
I know Guy Fieri has a fantastic restaurant in Vegas.
Okay.
Best hamburger I've ever had in my life.
Damn, dude.
That's all I know.
You just know him from the food. That's good.
Well,
That's
and
actually-
the memes.
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
old
yeah.
TV show, but
Yeah. No, hotel. I don't know. In hotel rooms, you get to watch a little cable. It makes you feel, like you're going back in time.
dude, you know what's crazy? I've been on the road with Steve for like 10 years.
Mhm.
How many hotels have we been in? I mean,
Yeah.
do the math, right?
Yeah.
I've never turned my TV on in the hotel
That's
room.
insane.
That's
really?
same. I don't turn the TV on ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's a pleasure of the road is like getting to experience. It's like you're almost in like a time machine.
I feel like I want to push back on that. I
Oh,
feel like,
there we go.
We
I
would
like
watch an
that.
iPad, but I've never turned on a TV.
Mm.
What am I going to watch?
I mean, I don't know.
TBS with commercials?
Sometimes
Not a
they got
fucking
HBO.
chance in hell.
Sometimes they got HBO.
But then it's like I'd rather just go on the HBO app
I don't know.
and be like, yeah, this is what I want to watch, not what they want to give me.
Sometimes it's about going back to the old ways, the ways of our forefathers. You know what I mean? It's like just throwing on the cable, watching a commercial.
Now Stavros is over here saying like how great he feels when when he's found a sexual partner.
An
on the
incel.
road.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, she's not incel anymore. I'm not incel.
But then there's Scott over here.
Uh-huh.
who's very, very mums the word about it.
Oh,
He's,
really? You won't let us know when you fuck.
No, I
You don't
mean,
let your
I'm
boys
down
know
to-
when you bust. That's another great
because
part
I
of it.
used to be that guy where I would tell
I see.
everybody.
I see.
And then I just it's like when I started getting into therapy, it was like, well, why do you have to tell people that?
Right.
Well, my take on it.
Yes, please, Steve.
Please.
My take on it. See, when Scott and I started working together 10 years ago, I had just gotten out of sex addict rehab.
Oh shit.
And I was like, man, now I got to go back on the road. Like, dude, I'm a dead duck, man. I need someone to come on the road and be a professional.
Jack me off.
Well, be a professional cock blocker.
Yeah. Ooh.
So I was like, just help me like not
Fall on
act
the
out with
grenade.
chicks.
Yeah.
And sell merch and stuff. So Scott became like a wizard at selling my merch. We would share hotel rooms together. We both identified as sex addicts.
Wow, interesting.
We were both highly committed to our recovery.
Yeah.
And there's something about sex addiction and acting out where like there's a shift. You go from being the guy who wants all of his bros to know that he hooked up last night. Then you shift into I'm ashamed of this. It's like the alcoholic sneaking drinks.
Yes, that's a great point. Sneaking pussy.
Sneaking
Keeping a little
pussy.
flask of pussy juice.
I
Taking
think-
a nip.
and I can't say with certainty,
Yeah.
but I've been getting the vibe that Scott's always like kind of going on a date, not making a big deal out of it.
Interesting.
I feel
because
that makes sense.
Because one, I used to be that guy.
Yes.
Two, I like hold my job at like I don't want to be the guy who's fucking on the job.
Of course.
So when I'm on the road, I'm working.
Yeah, that's a good
so
point.
Like
so he's the guy who's totally acting out sexually on the job, but just trying to keep a lid on it.
No, I do it very rarely. Like, but when we were in Atlanta, I was like, oh, I got this girl at the hotel. Like, there's no secrets once my work is done.
Right.
But like,
Once the
and there's
tank tops
also
are
the
sold.
factor of like, I don't want to be that guy. It's like, oh, I fucked last night. It's like,
Yeah,
bro, you're 40. Who
That's
gives
the
a
thing.
shit?
That's the thing.
So,
It's
so you are the guy who fucked last night, and like last night.
I didn't know. I didn't. I got in.
No, okay.
No, I got in. I got in, and I went to bed at like 1:30 in the morning.
Why was it so important to stay in Manhattan as opposed to just buy the podcast studio?
Oh, yeah.
Because we were talking about it before. There's like no hotels around here, and the ones that were around here were like $450 a night.
Okay.
So I chose the one in the financial district because it's right across the bridge, and it was like
Okay.
a nice hotel for reasonable.
Right.
Okay.
Now, again, I don't know anything. The only thing I know is just how it works. Once you open up the door, like the whole gorilla comes out. I know.
Is that what you call your penis, the gorilla? It's hairy all the way to the top.
I'm trying to think of even when the last, like honestly, like in the last 10 years on the road, I probably hooked up with like 10 chicks.
Okay,
Well,
so,
one a year.
so Scott's got a like mental contortionism to define being on the road. Scott's like,
No, I'm trying to think because it's like I'm working.
In Scott's head, he's like, I was only ever actually laying down in the road.
When I say the
That's
road,
the
I
amount of
mean
times
like
he's got head. Yeah.
I was staying at a hotel where the address was actually road, not boulevard.
You're
Yeah,
getting,
no,
you're,
no.
you're getting pussy on an on-ramp.
Yeah.
Those are the 10 you count.
Only 10 times.
Only 10 times.
No, I don't hook up with chicks on the road really, like because I was hired as a cock block, and so like the first like 4 or 5 years it was nothing. Okay. Yeah, I just that's
Doesn't feel like
So
Steve
you waited the
believes you.
first 4 or 5 years to hook up with anybody on the road.
yeah because Steve.
I'm gonna push back on you.
You know when the first time I did, I remember I was
Well, okay, we started traveling.
Cleveland.
Oh, some of the best.
We we
the
started.
finest women of all time in Cleveland.
really
You
are.
can't-
Maybe it was like three
pass up
or
that.
4 years in, but I remember I didn't even jack off on the road. While I was
Oh,
working
now
with
you're
you.
getting crazy.
No, I swear to God.
Now it's getting. Now I wasn't even there, but I have to object. That's one of the most ludicrous things I've ever heard in my life. I didn't jack off. There's nothing to do but jack off on the road.
I know. But we were like in intense like sexual therapy.
Okay, all right.
And so
all right.
for like the first like 2
Okay.
years, 3 years, I didn't even
Okay.
jack off while we were working.
Wow.
I'd wait till we got home.
Okay. Your safe space.
We started traveling together in January of 2014.
Yeah.
It wasn't 4 or 5 years. I mean, you and I were both said screw it, like in 2016.
Oh, hell yeah.
That was when we were in the what's that district?
Oh,
It
that.
ain't good no matter what.
Oh,
it
yeah,
is. You know by the district.
Europe didn't count.
Europe didn't count.
Oh, Amsterdam? You motherfuckers were in
Oh,
Amsterdam?
that was like 2 years? That was 2016?
We had our show in Ireland was like November 30th of 2016, and then the rest of Europe and the UK was December
Right.
2016.
Well, you guys had to lay off a little
Okay,
steam.
so-
Trump had been elected. You know, you were worried. You're like, we got to start busting
Trump
nuts.
was in office then.
He got elected,
That's
but
when he got
hadn't
elected.
gotten sworn
Yeah,
That was
in.
in Europe?
So we called it the end of the world tour.
Yeah. Europe
love
was,
it.
was bad.
Yeah, okay, that's awesome. I love the idea that it's like for 2 years, you're like strictly, we're not hooking up on the road. And then you're like, 2016, we did a Amsterdam, Thailand, back to Amsterdam, over to Henderson, Nevada.
Honey Ranch.
Yeah. Those are our 3 stops in 2016.
Yeah, and it was 2016. It was just kind of like, oh, screw it, and then I guess it was. I would compare it to like an alcoholic who's been sober and then relapses, and the relapse is just so terrible that then after
Yeah.
that they're sober like properly.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. Sometimes you need one of those.
Yeah, for me, I'm like a sexual anorexic. So like
Oh,
I'll splurge and then I'll pull back for like
Okay.
6 months.
Okay.
And,
Bulimic.
yeah.
Yeah.
A binge eater? A binge pussy eater?
I'm a binge. I'm a
So when are
binger.
you gonna pull back? I'm just going to come out and say it. I don't think Scott's ever going to pull back, and I think it might have something to do with him discovering the powers of Blue Chew. I think that he's just having so much fun with the ladies that he cannot stop. And I don't blame him, because Blue Chew really is a lot of fun. And if you want to try it, then I think that's a pretty good idea, because it's got the same active ingredient as both Viagra and Cialis, except it's chewable and it only costs a fraction of the price. So, yeah, it's a good time. And you can get an entire month's supply of Blue Chew tablets absolutely for free and only pay $5 for shipping if you go to bluechew.com and use the promo code STEVO. Couldn't be more simple. You get your prescription taken care of right there on the site, super fast with the medical provider online, and then boom, an entire month's supply of Blue Chew tablets is on its way to you absolutely for free. You only pay $5 for shipping. I mean, you got nothing to lose. And if you look at Scott Randolph, then I think you can tell it's going to be a good time. So go to bluechew.com, use the promo code STEVO, and let's get back to it.
No, I mean I've been trying to like go on dates and
Okay.
like dating healthily,
I
but
get
it's
that.
just
Trying, huh? It's doing pretty good. Like, okay, so now...
it's
like,
just so tough dating in LA though.
We,
Okay.
like how many... you know,
How many times have I
How
fucked
much
this year?
penetrative intercourse have you had?
I don't even
I'm
know.
gonna guess you're doing pretty strong numbers, is the sense that I get.
No. I mean I
You did not have any eye contact when you said that.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you guys. I'm trying to think of like
Yeah.
maybe the last time I fucked was Australia, but maybe
Wow.
not. After that, probably. I can't remember.
Wow.
I think I just like disassociate or
The
like,
I don't recall defense. Yeah. I couldn't tell you, officer. Your Honor, I don't remember.
It's all good. It's all good.
No, I plead the fifth.
Yeah, you're pleading the
Yeah.
fifth. Listen, you're not under oath, dude. This is in podcasting. There is no constitutional protections. You're just gonna get grilled by your boys until you tell us.
I honestly don't remember, but if you like brought it up, I'd be like, oh yeah, I mean, I got my dick sucked a couple weeks ago.
Oh, so we need to remember. So basically, what you're saying is Steve needs a log of every time you fuck. He needs to put it like a baby, like a nursery camera in your room.
Yeah.
Like when they have to watch babies to make sure
Yeah.
they're not choking in the middle of the
Baby
night.
monitor, yeah.
Baby dick monitor.
I understand
not to
Scott.
disparage you. I don't know how big your penis is, Scott.
I understand Scott has a war
Has a
hammer.
that makes
He's got
nice.
like a real.
I'm a grower, not a shower.
Nice, dude. But it's big, but it grows to a nice.
He's got a huge.
I mean, I guess I don't know. I've been told.
This is so funny because it's like we're bullying him for having a big dick and getting pussy. This is like,
I'm like, no, dude, what the fuck?
This is the opposite of like middle school. It's like when you get sober, it's like, whoa, what are you still getting pussy and drinking and doing drugs, you fucking idiot? Like everything is flipped on its head. When like we're so washed that we're like, dude, stop, dude. Stop having a big ass dick and having an awesome time and getting pussy. That's what being 40's like.
We have hot sauce on Amazon.
I can't believe you, Scott.
Yeah, dude. How dare you?
Yeah, man. Oh,
Damn.
dude.
The twin sex, that's interesting that you're both going through like, what is that even, what's like sex addiction rehab even like? I don't even, like, they're just telling you to
It's a
stop?
sex program, and
Okay.
I think the definition is to abstain from compulsive sexual behavior that causes shame.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So it's different for everybody.
Okay, that makes sense. The shame part makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're shameless, I guess it's the, there's no, but there, because it feels like a tough one to get a handle on, because it's like,
Yeah.
it's not like that's the problem with food too, is that like you kind of have to have food.
Right.
Whereas like with sex addiction, it's the same thing where it's like, it is, I mean, I guess you could abstain for times, but it's like to be a regular, well-rounded human being, you can't just cut it out
Right.
the way you cut out
Absolutely.
drugs or booze or whatever. So I could see that being really hard, especially like when you finally do find someone that you like, and then you just feel all that, and then you let the genie out of the bottle a little bit, and you're like, oh, this is cool. I should go pay for pussy now. You know what I mean? Like I should go.
Right.
I should get 2 women to fuck me at once.
That's exactly. You couldn't have nailed it more. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So you clearly don't have a girlfriend or anything.
I don't know. Yeah. I've just been. It's kind of this thing where it's like where you travel all the time. I mean, I don't. I've been like I said. I've been on the road a long, like for basically 2+ years, and I was like getting out of a relationship going into the pandemic. So like we had just broken up, and then pandemic's fucking weird, and everyone's kind of so there was no one around then, and then I actually really liked that once the pandemic opened up and it was like this weird, once people were like started going outside, no one was leaving their house. Like I would match with girls on Tinder and no one was leaving their house not to fuck in 2020. It was like, if we're leaving, we're fucking. So I kind of liked, that was actually my favorite dating ever because it was like, they'd come over, I'd grill up a nice meal, we'd watch a movie. It was really nice. I actually really liked that. And then since then, it's just been kind of like, I've been just traveling way too much and, to the point where it feels a little like I don't think I have like, sex addiction, but it's starting to get to the point where it's like, not just in sex and relationships, but like in every part of my life where I'm like, I don't even feel like I live anywhere or that I have like these like connections with anyone. Cause it's like, I'm just gone all the time. And I'm always in these like, so all my relationships are like, there's a couple, maybe there's a couple people that I have. One cool thing is dating girls in open relationships. Cause you get to keep, you don't feel guilty about not dating that, you know what I mean? Like seeing them multiple times and not dating them. Like, if you see someone over the course of years on the road, I don't know if you've had
It's safe.
where it's like, yeah.
It's non-committal.
Totally. It's like you get kind of the best of both worlds in this part where it's like, they know what's up. They don't care if you fuck somebody else or whatever. And it's like, and you don't feel guilty because they have someone they actually love in their life, and it's like you could just be like a fun time. But
Are you seeing a therapist?
I was in therapy, and then I just literally stopped. Like 6 months ago, I got really busy and I forgot to text my therapist back, and I just straight up have not texted him since then.
Yeah, because you're saying a lot of things that I was on the road, and I was like talking to my therapist, like, yeah, I feel like this. I don't know what I'm like. I don't have a home. I don't have this. And they're like, well, you have to put down roots. And so the big step for me was I just bought a house.
Nice, dude.
And part of doing that was because
there's a sex dungeon in the basement, by the way.
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you ever end up christening the house? Oh, we lost eye contact.
Yeah. yeah.
Sorry, you were trying to connect with me as a human being.
Yes, I have.
And then I
was just trying to
went
think
back.
because
Sorry, I'm a piece of shit. You didn't deserve that.
No. I mean, I'm trying to think because like my memory isn't so well because it's like what we pack into a day is like so much that I don't remember.
These excuses are getting wild.
What are you guys laughing at?
These excuses are crazy.
What are you talking about?
It's like you're like we do so many activities. I can't remember if I had sex. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean it's like
Right?
yeah. What are you guys saying? Help me. Maybe I'm like deflecting. I don't even know what you guys are talking about. It's getting hot here. You gonna water, goddammit? No, what? Vinny, explain what's going on.
It just sounds like you're deflecting a little bit.
I mean,
But what am I deflecting? Like
it just sounds
I have
like,
christened my place.
it just sounds like you're
Going ape shit.
that you're active in sexual addiction. Is the kind of the
Do you have a girlfriend?
No.
No, okay. Well, if you're putting down roots, maybe that's the... Because one thought I have had is like, I'm with you, where I feel the need to kind of... Like next year, I am taking a really long break off the road. Like I have this special coming out...
next year?
But that's the problem that's the problem with this, right? Where it's like, I have the special coming out later. I can't say too much about it soon, but it's coming out sometime later this year. And then, so I'm going to tour off that. You can't really put a special out and then not tour off it a little bit. It's kind of a mistake, I think. Like, you're going to have all this press from it. So, like, I'm going to be gone for the first the first quarter of next year. But then after that, I'm like, all right, let's chill out.
Yeah, but what if more opportunities pop up? And
I've already told, I was like, I'm not doing them.
Yeah.
Because that's what I keep doing. Is like, I've said this multiple times where I'm like, I'm going to take 3 months off and then something cool happened, right? Like I got to do a movie this summer. I got Bert asked me to be a part of that awesome tour,
the
fully loaded tour. So this stuff kept popping up, but I've told my agents, I was like, I'm just straight up not doing like, yeah, if fucking Martin Scorsese is like, hey, you want to make your acting debut, your major motion picture debut, I'll be like, yes, I will. But it's like, other than something crazy, I've just been like, and don't get me wrong, I'm still gonna work. Like I have my podcast.
For sure.
I'll do shows in the city, but it's that thing of like, I gotta stay home. And then I also want to be like a regular human being where it's like, yeah, I should probably be in a relationship and stop like this weird stuff where you're just kind of flirting with like, because it's definitely
Intriguing, they call it.
intriguing.
Yeah.
What like,
Emotional liaisons.
Oh,
when you
nice.
have several people that you're texting nonstop.
Okay. Now his memory works real good. Now his vocabulary snapped back.
Yeah, wow. Very clear definition.
Real quick.
Good point. Yeah, probably blocking it out.
Yeah.
So this tour, you're doing Baltimore.
Yeah. I'm on it.
You're doing 4 shows in Baltimore.
My fall tour. My fall tour kicks off. I guess I'll plug that to give you a little breather.
Get the camera off me.
Give you a sec. So I'm doing the last leg of the Fat Rascal tour, and this will be the last time I do this material. The special will come out sometime after this. So I'm in Cincinnati. It kicks off in Cincinnati, Columbus, Cleveland. That's the first weekend in October, and then I'm doing big homecoming shows in Baltimore. 6 shows at the Lyric. Tickets still available for 2 of those, and then after that it's like Detroit, Grand Rapids, Philly, Orlando, Tampa, Fort Lauderdale, Milwaukee, Kansas City, St. Louis, and then we end it at the Beacon Theater in New York, which I'm super fucking pumped about. Which it is so crazy. Like, I can't believe some of the venue. Like, the Beacon Theater is so beautiful, and it's like, I'm just telling stories about, like, watching myself fuck in the mirror and how atrocious it is. You know what I mean? And it's like, like Bob Dylan was in there. You know what I mean? Like, giving it's so funny.
I've had very similar situations.
Yeah.
What's the biggest venue you've done?
I think I did like on this tour we have some 3,000 seaters. But I like I'm trying to get into like the 2,500 seat thing. I really like a 1,500 seat venue. I think that's kind of like, it feels like a club, but it's big. Like it's kind of. But some of these bigger ones look so beautiful. So I'm excited to try them out. I mean, I'm trying to do less. Part of the like not going crazy on the road is also, instead of doing smaller venues and doing 8 shows, it's like hopefully we can sell out one just big 3,000 seater, and I don't have to be gone for 6 days or whatever. It's
not checking out that that you've yet to travel on a tour bus.
Yeah, yeah. This has all happened like this year, dude. Like it's been really crazy. Where, I mean, last year I was in comedy clubs, and I'll still play comedy clubs because I like them. I mean, I love stand-up comedy. Like I've been doing it since I was 19. It's the only thing I've ever wanted to do. Podcasting and even like having an online presence was never something that I like. And yeah, I wanted to act a little bit, but it was never something like my passion's always been stand-up. But yeah, in the last year, it went from like, we'll play some bigger, like, the big improvs, like the 500 seat improvs and shit. It went to that to like, okay, why don't we mix in a couple of theaters? And then all the tickets went up so like it is hard to wrap my mind around it. Like I go to some of these places and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I don't know if you feel this, but like now there's like the pressure of being great every time or giving them a great show. When I was in comedy club, it was like, maybe 3 of these shows will be good. You know what I mean? It's like you're not getting a good show on Thursday, I'll tell you that much. That's the warm-up day, But it's like, but now it's like these motherfuckers got a babysitter. They paid, the whole night might cost some people fucking got a hotel and flew in and shit. Right. So it's like you feel that pressure, but maybe it'll be a tour bus soon. It would also help with just like being healthier.
Wait, you drive into Columbus from here in Cleveland? Or?
No, I'll fly into Cincinnati, and then we'll do the Sprinter van thing, Cincinnati, Columbus, Cleveland, and then we'll fly back out. And then Baltimore, I'm from there. I have a house there, so that'll be easy. And then, so a lot of this tour, I wanted it to be a little easier on me, so it's just like weekends and it's bigger venues. But I think maybe next year we'll try because my buddy Sam Morrell, who just did the pod, he started doing tour buses for longer stretches, and he was saying how great it is when
it's
you just have
the greatest.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Is our bus here today?
No.
No, where is the bus parked? Do we know?
It might make it to Newark today.
Nice. Maybe.
Yeah,
Steve might just stay there instead of the hotel.
Yeah,
Dude,
you love it.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I lose my mind over it.
You got the little back. You got the little back bedroom. Yeah,
I
hell
got the
yeah.
little back bedroom.
Make these peons sleep in the bunks.
You
Jeff's
said-
in there beating off.
You said you've got a house in Baltimore. How many different places do you have homes?
So it's basically just New York and Baltimore. And I mean, I don't really want to leave New York. I love it. But I just have so much all my family's in Baltimore. And, it's this weird thing where also going back home kind of makes you remember how real fucking people live. Because it's, I'm here and I'm 35. And like to this day, if one of my friends like gets pregnant or something, I'm like, what the hell? Are you going to keep the kid? And it's like, yeah, I'm 30. You know what I mean? It's like in entertainment and shit, you could just get so warped with like, and then I go back home and I'm like, yeah, my little brothers, who are, by the way, they're 30, they're 32-year-old men, but to me, they're my little brothers. It's like, yeah, they're married. They have like jobs. They have like, everyone you grew up with is doing this thing. So it kind of grounds you. And I like being home and I like, seeing my parents and just kind of sticking with them. So I'll try and get back to Baltimore at least like 2 to 3 months a year.
Cool, man.
Spend and then New York, just because I'm here. I just love it here. But I've spent so little time these last couple of years. Like I haven't been in my house. Like I actually don't really feel like I have even a place here because I've turned my apartment into like the podcast studio basically.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we have the master bedroom's the podcast studio, and I have a little bedroom, and then it's like people are coming in and out all the time, and
A 2-bedroom apartment in New York is.
it's nice. No, it's a 3-bedroom in Queens, so it's like it's fucking big, but it's like it feels like your office. Like it's like living in the tour bus. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like which can be fun, but it can also be a little grating. But
Here's a random question.
yeah,
Are you on Cameo?
I'm not on Cameo.
Have you thought about getting on Cameo?
I've thought about it a little bit. Yeah.
Because we have been working on this video, just trying to prank people on Cameo.
What's the idea?
Don't say it.
I'll be a part of the prank if you want me
I
to.
mean, like, yeah, I'd love to come up with some. What made me think about it was when you said, your friends get pregnant, and you're like, "Oh, are you gonna have the kid?" Because the
Don't say it.
one of the first ones that we did, we tried to send to David Arquette.
Yeah.
I wrote a message.
Oh, you pretend to be a fan asking for a cameo.
Right.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right,
So you
right.
ask for out-of-pocket shit.
Right,
Yeah,
right. I said
yeah.
I wrote to David Arquette, like saying my name was Brad or something. Like hey, sadly I got my girlfriend pregnant and she
Yeah.
wants to keep the baby. Like
Can you urge her? That's fucking awesome.
yeah. And he wrote back this super thoughtful, like, hey, I believe it's the woman's choice, and then like kind of started chewing me out. Like I'm not gonna do
Wow.
that. Like, and I wish you the best, but like, man, I really want you to really think.
Holy shit. He really
It's
took
like
it to
awesome
heart.
life advice from David Arquette.
That's
It was
awesome. Good
like
for
that.
him.
I mean, dude, I know him to be that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know him
yeah.
to be that, like that great of a guy.
Yeah.
What were some of the other ones? We asked Lindsay Lohan to put on a British accent and say, "For my British fans, Elton John is a talentless diva." And there was wanted to do different accents.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
for my
yeah.
Irish fans,
Right.
Conor McGregor's a bitch boy.
Yeah.
And they put that.
Yeah.
And then cap it off with, "And for my Chinese."
Oh no! And for my my Muslim fans, the Prophet, and then it just cuts off. It just won't even.
Yeah. Oh my God.
God,
Yeah.
those are good bits.
Yeah. So we need to have a creative meeting today to come up with more.
Oh yeah. If I think of any, I'll definitely.
Yeah. More.
Yeah, who's
more,
good? Some good
More
ones.
ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was Yeah. I mean, dude, we have a lot of fun. We laugh really hard.
Those are great.
doing that.
Yeah. That's a great use of Cameo for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not gonna take it any further than that.
Don't take it
I'm
any
gonna leave
further.
it
I'm looking at the screen and
I mean, I could
it's getting close.
Yeah.
We could probably wrap up this video in the next couple days, you think?
I would love to. I would love to, but the thing is that some of the stuff we did on this Cameo video is like pretty radioactive. Like I've got some legitimate concerns about whether it's a good idea to put it.
That's awesome. That's great, dude. That's when you know you got something good. When you're like, oh no,
Right.
oh no, is
Yeah,
this going to be a huge problem? I love the people that'll just read whatever and not realize, video's been
we
removed.
have that saved.
Well, let's talk about this after.
It sounds like you guys lost some heat.
Was that the one for the fire department?
Yeah.
It's been removed.
Oh,
We better
fuck.
have saved
I
it.
don't know.
Uh-oh.
I mean, we wouldn't have been able to show that anyway. But yeah, I mean, homeboy had his fire hose out.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we said.
That's
we
incredible.
said there's this one. We said I work for the fire department, and it would just mean a lot. It would be a big morale boost for the guys in the department if if you could light a candle and whack it with your wiener to put it out.
Who wouldn't assume that that's a gay man with a very specific fetish? You know what I mean? Like, who would take that in good faith?
We'll tell you somebody.
Yeah.
We got somebody.
We
We know just the right one.
We asked Joey Fatone of NSYNC to put on blackface. And say, Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, we've got just the guy.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
Man. So, yeah. So what else, dude? I mean,
dude, not much. Just I'm just out here. I'm on the road. I got the special coming up, and I'm trying to,
where's the special coming out?
we don't know yet, or I can't announce yet, but somewhere pretty cool. And it'll come out. We don't know the exact date, but later this year. So I'm really pumped about that. And then, not much. I did like a little movie with a little indie movie, which is really cool. I'm editing that with some friends right now, so I'm trying to do some shit like that. But,
When you're making all these TikToks, these short videos, do you have like people you hire to do that for you?
Yeah, I basically hired my best friends. Like I hired like my friend Eldest, who had no idea how to do anything. Like he had no technical acumen at all. He became like my right hand man, and he started posting all that shit. And then now it's like you just hire some editor. Like I have some editors that I work with, and yeah, you just gotta have it. It's like a little machine that you gotta keep going constantly. But it's all good. I look at that stuff as like advertisements for my show. It's not. I don't see that as like what I do. I just think I'm lucky that I can do crowd work in a way. Like if you come to a show, some people expect it to be all crowd work, but it's like 10 minutes of crowd work where I'm just like, because that's always a fun part of comedy where you do. That's another cool thing about stand-up is you get to connect with the crowds, like live performance. You're right there in front of them, right? And that's awesome. So it's like, yeah, take advantage of that and make something that you can't recreate anywhere else with this specific, crew, this specific crew of people. But then, so it's like, I just see that as like a way to get people into shows, and then, come see me and we'll do, it'll be a completely different thing. We'll talk about a bunch of shit. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just what you have to basically do now. It feels like, it's just another part of it, but it's cool.
Have you ever stormed out of an interview?
I've never stormed out. No. I pride myself on being a pretty easygoing guy, having a good time no matter what the situation is.
So you've never stormed out. Have you ever
never
just
stormed
kind
out.
of walked out?
I've briskly. No, I don't do any like real interviews. That's the other thing. It's like I just like podcasting and just like fucking around with people and actually having a conversation and I don't do too many. I haven't done any combative interviews, so who knows?
Right.
I don't even know what the gotcha questions would really be.
Right.
Where are you going with this?
Have you had any?
Well, I don't know.
Interviews?
I don't know what made me.
I thought you had like a story or something.
What about you? Have you ever had like? Have people ever been like dickheads to you?
It takes a lot to offend me.
Yeah.
You gotta try pretty hard to offend me. Like, yeah. One time I got up and walked out of an interview. It was just somebody had insulted the honor of somebody else.
Yeah. You're just taking a stand. I mean, I get that, right? It's like, but I could imagine like if anything, maybe like some interviewers would be like condescending to you or some shit like that. Like I could see that, which is fucked because it's like, I mean, I hate that. I mean, I've been a fan forever, truly. Like I'm
man,
from
I
like
love that, dude.
obviously.
Thank you.
Jackass, Wild Boys was my shit too. You know what I mean? Like,
well, thanks, man.
and I just think that it's so, just what you do is fucking awesome, and it's so like it's the fact that interviewers or anybody would be like condescending about it is just like, it's actually I think it's like more like
noble.
Visceral art and noble than like a lot of stuff that's like. A lot of the middle ground shit that's like really, maybe there's like some very high level of works of art that we're talking about, like film, stuff like that like most people can't touch, right? But then there's like all this bullshit that people churn out that has no like human spirit or connection, and like all the stuff that not only is that like you will put your body on the line to truly like make something and entertain people, and also, but it's also like that underlying like level of camaraderie that everything that I think you do is so sick, and that it has that like human feeling. I mean, from the first Jackass to Jackass Forever was like more emotional for me than like good
wow.
than like some fucking highly produced Hollywood drama where it's like because you actually are like seeing these relationships form in real time and shit. So anybody who's being a dickhead to my boy Steve-O, they need to come see me. That's what I say. We'll fuck them up. We'll send out Eldis, my Albanian video editor, to deal with him. He's 6'6" and a very soft man, but maybe he looks intimidating.
Yeah, good.
But
Yeah, good, man. I appreciate that, dude.
I think we have a heart out right now.
All right, good.
Okay,
well,
nice.
I think
Cool, we can wrap it up. Sorry.
I think we're in good shape anyway, man. I knew I was gonna love talking
Dude,
to
this
you.
is so fun. Thank you.
Yeah.
And anytime you're back in New York and want to come hop on Stavi's World, come do my pod.
I would love it, dude.
Yeah, would definitely love to have you for sure.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, shit, dude. Like anytime you want.
I would love to. Yeah, and if you're in LA, right? You're most of the time.
I am
cool.
in LA. Yeah.
So if I'm in LA, I'll hit you up, dude. But yeah, please come on the show. Great meeting you guys.
Nice meeting
Yeah.
you too.
Please get your sex addiction under control. We're all worried about you. Yeah. See you guys next time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
dude, that was a lot of fun.
How about that? My new bro, Stavros. You know, there's a lot going on. I just got back from the Radical Ranch. Been talking about this forever. Lux and I did it. The place is insane. Like, I can't stand how much I love it. And what else, dude? I might as well just go ahead and tell you this. I got a release date for the Bucket List special, November 14th. It's exciting. And yeah, man, just love you guys. I love you guys a lot. Thank you for sticking around. Yeah.